Apparel is now carrying Going Bracket Racing merch. Hats, t-shirts, hoodies, and much more can be yours today by visiting 8thmileapparel.com. We appreciate each and every one of you guys supporting the Going Bracket Racing YouTube and Facebook pages.
What's up, everybody? August 19th, 2025, episode 203 of the Going Bracket Racing Live podcast. We come at you every single Tuesday on Facebook, YouTube. I think I put it out on podcast. I started just putting it out tomorrow, man. So that way everybody can just get their fill of GBR before the week's over. Get you a little bit of extra time up in there. You can get it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, whatever it's called now. I don't even know. It's all over the place. It's I don't know. Just go look for it. Type in Going Bracket Racing. You'll find it. There's only one of us, I promise. So anyway, thank those people that give this show to you for free every single week for all these years. TSR Racing Products. Go to them for your Power Glides, your Turbo 350s, 400, 727 transmission parts and accessories, full transmissions. Anything you need, they got it for you. BRG 3D printed parts. Anything you need, Brian Garrett will print that stuff up for you. I just saw earlier today, I was looking through some for sale ads, and I saw a Brian Garrett 3D printed mount holding up a race pack, I believe. So call BRG and get any kind of custom parts you need from him. Syntex Printing out there in Temple, Texas. Decals, stickers, shirts, brochures, anything you need for your business. Call Syntex Printing out there in Temple, Texas. Driven Racing Oil, you'll see that screen on the back over here, rotating that through. And you're going to want to use that code that's on there. It's called GBR10. Use that at checkout. In fact, it's right there right now. Worked out perfectly. Use the code GBR10. Get yourself 10% off your order. No limit on the Driven Racing Oil website. GBR10. I can't say it enough, and it saves you a ton of money. Proform Parts. Visit proformparts.com for your shop tools, your carburetors, your alternators, your starters, accessories, all kinds of stuff. They constantly have new stuff coming out. Visit proformparts.com and look through their catalog. We might give away some of those parts on this channel. Always free to those YouTube subscribers, and we'll give it away to the Facebook people too. Why not? Crew Chief Pro software. Go to crewchiefpro.com. If you can't figure it out, you're dial in. Maybe the weather is changing. There's some algorithms that Don Higgins has figured out. Go to crewchiefpro.com and start whooping your opponents whenever those things happen. Gearhead Solutions, anything you need, go to Gearhead Solutions. He's got that website updated with newer and newer parts every single day. Access to thousands of vendors. Get the parts when you need them at gearheadsolutions.com. Of course, our newest partner, that worked out perfectly too. Mid-State Dragway. I got the wrong flyer up right now. This last weekend, they just completed that flyer behind me where they got the twin 10s where you can double all weekend for $500. The next race is going to be $20K Saturday and then 10 after that. And I believe that is the week before the OG Million. So if you're in the area of the St. Louis area, go to Havana, run that 20 and then that 10, and then you can go down to Gateway, run the OG Million all week. And then you can go wherever you want. Maybe you can win some money and already pay for your weekend, make it a little easier on your wallet. Maybe it gives you the opportunity to double the OG by going to Havana the week before Mid-State Dragway. They got good round money. They got all kinds of stuff. More and more asphalt every single week. You got those big rigs. They'll fit in there. Don't worry about it. And, of course, you want some of these nice shirts we got. You want some hats. You want some hoodies. It's getting ready to – I know it doesn't feel like it, but it's getting ready to cool off here, I believe, maybe next month or so, hopefully. Go to 8thmileapparel.com and get you some GBR merch and support the show. I think that's about all I have to say right now, George. What have you been up to?
That's about right, man. That's about right. Nothing much, man. Nothing much. And as you mentioned before, I neglected to put that flyer up, so I'm just going to go ahead and throw it up now, man, and let you guys understand what's happening September 12th through the 14th out there at Mid-State. I want to say the price to enter into the 20 and the 10 is still that $500 to enter number. And he upped the purse quite a bit there, guys. So all of you guys traveling into the Midwest, make sure to stop by Mid-State. You're not going to be upset about it. Let's pack the place out, man. I would like to hear from Vashawn that said he couldn't get enough. He had to turn people away because there were too many people coming. He'll find a way to park you one way or the other. If he has to park you on that frontage road, he'll try to do it. You know what I mean? But let's show up at the Mid-State Dragway and show some support for somebody throwing this many tens, twin tens, that many weekends in a row. So thought I'd throw that out there, man, and at the same time let everybody know what's going on with CP, man. Old CP's got a race coming. Tennessee Summer. Looks like it's an inaugural race. It's a meltdown. August 22nd through 24th. That's this weekend out at Etheridge Motorsports Park, guys. He's throwing tens Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Weekend double entry is 600 for this particular event. Looks like there's some no box stuff going on out there. 300 to enter that one for singles, 500 to double, and I believe there's some junior dragster racing going on, $700 to win. That's likely to change. CP's always trying to up the ante, and if I read it right, I feel like there might have been a change come out. Don't take my word for it. Head over to Cody Pelage Racing Promotions on the Facebook page and get a load of all the updates and things coming out on that particular event as well. All right, Casey, man, we've got down a couple of pretty nice races. One going on this week, one going on the week before the Million. Casey, what's been going on in your neck of the woods? I know I saw you live on Facebook by way of OJP. Car might have been hauling the mail a little bit. I need to ship you this system I got sitting here. Maybe you can keep up with the times.
Yeah, it went. Well, first of all, let's shout out old Jerry Bonifield over here in the chat. It says Jeff Bonifield, but it's Jerry. Don't worry, Jerry's his brother. Not really. It's his son. But he'll get the joke on that. Somebody called him that one of those days. He said he's over there drinking his old man's beer. And now he's trying to shout out Swick over there and says go check out their machining program over there whenever you're down there at the OG Million. But anyway, yeah, man, I figured out what the whole lean is mean comment meant that all those pro mod guys say. My car, I didn't really think it was going to be that big of a deal because it was still hot. It was still 90 degrees. But the last time I ran, it was like 115 degree heat index. I just thought it was so humid and it was so hot that it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But my EGTs were like 50 to 80 degrees hotter than I typically would run them. Which partially, whenever I went through the stripe, actually first shakedown run, I think I was running Steve Furr, and it actually threw the key out of the fuel pump. So the pulley just quit and it leaned out at 4 seconds, luckily. So I was shutting down anyway, but it picked up like 2.5 miles an hour, just going through the lights basically. So that must be what they mean by that. Dylan Champion says he's passing my house right now on 70 or something. But anyways, yeah, what was I talking about? So went out there, just kept running everything. Obviously didn't hurt anything. Ran Nick Klein. Nick Klein whooped me, ended up going to the finals and running up to I'm trying to remember everybody's names out there because I'm the new guy and I'm constantly working on my stuff, it seems like, so I don't really get to meet anybody out there. I'm pretty sure his name's Bill Wilson. He's got a red Corvette. And if I heard right over the speaker, he actually might have used to run Darlington or something like that. So that was kind of interesting. There's a lot of history out in there. There are a lot of people that used to run Pro Mod out in there. Nick's brother Chris has the Christine car that some of you might know in the Southeast or whatever. It's a blown, I believe, like 57 or 9 Plymouth, something like that. Pretty cool car. Sweet. So yeah, man, had a good week at Mad Dog, made a bunch of runs. Things didn't break. Shout out to Andy Beal of Beal Racing Engines. Super cool. He came over after it was all said and done, told me and my wife that he thought it was really cool. And a lot of people have been talking about the fact that it's just me and my wife out there, nobody helping us. And that meant a lot to me and meant a lot to my wife, considering she's new to all this stuff as well. So I appreciate him coming up and taking the time to say those nice words to us and make us feel a little bit better about loading it up in second round.
Yeah, man, absolutely. One thing I wanted to point out to everybody is I know that Casey, you were telling me over the phone, I guess, the last couple of weeks, you really wasn't hitting a tree like you wanted to, and
Mhm.
all of a sudden you tell me you're going to make some few changes to the car and kind of just go out there and change everything that is anything to help that thing react quite a bit better, man. I seen you go red on the. Feel like I was watching Farmington's Facebook page there. Of course, they always post the ladder and who's where and what position and who's racing who first round. Anyway, I seen you were like 14 red or something. Casey
Mhm.
caught the red
Yeah,
light, so I'm like, all right,
finally.
figured something out to get that thing to react, man. What all did you change, man? Because I know you changed a lot. Um, I know you even changed the button. I think.
Yeah, I changed the button. I changed all kinds of stuff, man. It's just it's not as easy. Um, it's not as easy as people make it look. There's a lot of changes that go into it whenever you're heads up racing versus bracket racing, and don't forget whenever you're running pro tree, that's a 400 tree also. So that takes a tenth of a second away from the time the car can react again. So there's a lot of adjustments that need to be made, man, and I'm just learning as I go. I've never done anything like this before, and I knew this year was going to be a learning experience, but we're kind of getting stuff in line now, and now I just need to kind of figure out some ratios on how to do my power management to be able to, because you're required. We're all dialed 450 out there. It's all 450 door cars, and I just need to figure out some things and do some adjustments and learn some more as I go of now with my power management. But I feel like that's the easiest part of the whole deal because it's going down the track almost every time now. I can hit the tree now. Now it's all a matter of figuring out how to run the number every single time. And once I can figure out how to do that, now I'll have something for those guys. So I knew this year, 2025, I knew was going to be a learning experience for me. I've been using it as a learning experience. I've been beating my brains out. My wife's been beating her brains out also. Um, so ultimately, hopefully in 2026, Mad Dog 450, hopefully we'll have something for those boys.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. But we got to keep going, Casey, because there's still more to the story. I got a lot, and I know you didn't expect this level of questioning from your buddy George here on the other side of GBR. But man, we were talking even a little bit further down the line there, man. I'm watching the second round, and what looked to me, and maybe it was just an optical illusion, Casey, you left on that old boy pretty good there, and you ended up telling me maybe it was a 3,000 different in the tree, but man, the old adrenaline was getting nasty out there, bro. I mean, picking up that much in between the track. Talk to me, man. What's the difference in between old Blue, that Nova you got sitting in the corner, and the adrenaline? Because it's not like we're bracket racing. We can just turn our head and look and just sit there and watch
Oh
them.
yeah.
You got to talk to me about what it's like driving that
Well,
man down there.
well, first of all,
Ain't no short walk, man. You know what I'm saying? 445
right.
doors. Come on now.
Yeah. Well, first of all, if you look over your shoulder, you're not going to see anything but wheel tubs. You'll see big old carbon fiber wheel tubs about yay wide.
Got you.
So there you can't see anything out the back. You can barely see anything out the side. It's number one. Um, when you're running at a skinny track, you can't. You're driving those cars down the track. Like that's the thing people don't realize is that car. So when I almost went 168 mile an hour in the shakedown run. That works out at the weight of my car to 1,876 horsepower based on the mile an hour. So, or 1873, whatever it ended up being. But the fact of the matter is, that car's trying to drive around itself. Like if you ever watch those Pro Mod cars, which have double that power, if not more, they actually put rear steer and cock the rear end in the chassis. So the car will actually look like it's doglegging down the track. The point is you actually have to drive those cars down there. It's not as easy as just like your bracket car. Like, for example, the Nova, I could look this way the entire time, and I know it's going straight because I didn't turn the steering wheel.
Right.
Well, when you're dealing with fast cars like that, they'll spin in the middle or shake in the middle or shake at the gear change or do all kinds of stuff. I mean, the guy I ran first round, he won 3 in a row last year. And so obviously he knows what he's doing. Went off starting line. I think he got a little ways out and shook tires or spun the tires or whatever. There's a big difference whenever you're trying to 450 it and 450. 450 is 450 in a dragster and 450 in a door car. Totally different thing.
Mhm.
But Yeah, man. Anyways, it's all about how you're applying power and where you're applying it. But the fact of the matter is, there's a couple times I looked over and then I looked back and I said, "Oh, I got to drive it back to where I was now." And then I looked over again and then it went the other way. And there's just a lot going on, and it could be as simple as I'm not used to doing that yet. I've only done it for this short amount of time. I'm not Ricky Smith or something. Ricky Smith probably is like, "Oh man, I'd love to just go do that. That'd be easy," but I'm not him. I don't claim to be him. I'm learning, and I'll get better as I go.
Yeah, put it like this, man. And as I feel like I know what you're talking about, I'm still probably whole second away in ET based on what you're doing. But the first time I drove my dad's vet, and it's running 520s, just 5. I didn't want to take my eyes off the doggone way I was going. I didn't want to look over my shoulder at even 520. It took me a second, right? So I can only imagine adding another second, basically, to the ET and trying to look over my shoulder or look out the window.
Well, dude,
what's going on?
You don't know how tall the windows are of the Chevelle? They're this big. That's how big they are. It's my hand. That's the height of them. So what are you going to see out of them anyway?
True.
People can say what they want, but this is.
I see a few people saying, Casey, hey, hit that again.
I unplugged my microphone.
Yeah, you're back. You're back. I see somebody asking over here on the Facebook chat, or basically making a comment, says, Casey, you need to get into IHRA Top Sportsman. Let's not think that's not on the radar, guys. I know Casey's got something up his sleeve, and that car is dialed back pretty good. Casey, man, and you want to let something out the hat, or where you think that old boys can go? What do you think, man? I know you went 440 probably without trying. So
I'm sure I can go a bottom 30, no problem. It's just the problem is the internals of that particular motor aren't really made to do what it's doing right now. So I'm just trying to get it through this season, and then I'm gonna beef everything up. Yeah, I was actually talking to Andy over when we were loading up and asking him about some things that I'm getting ready to change on it. So I'm gonna send my backup motor to him, get some things done to it where that motor will handle more than the blower can give it. And then at that point, again, like I said on the last episode, I'm looking for an F3 121. Anybody out there who wants to sponsor Going Bracket Racing, an F3 121, then I'll go IHRA Top Sportsman Racing. Your logo will be on TV. If they interview me, I'll give you some Disco Dean interview out there, and we'll pay for it for you. But we got to have it first.
The pitch is out there. Casey needs a blower. Anyway, guys, so Casey, man, as we near the old marketing partners time, we got about 10 minutes. We can at least start the conversation rolling, guys. And if you paid attention to the title, just let me win. And if you pay attention to drag coverage, you probably know exactly what we're talking about and what we're referencing with the first kind of subject of today's stream. Let's talk about it. Let's put everything out in the open air. We know everybody's listening in the first place. Should there be a rule in every sanctioning body against taking a dive for the opponent in the other lane? I don't care if it's for money. I don't care if it's your dad, Pop. You in the other lane, don't let me win because I'm not going to let you win. That's all I got to tell you. I know, Casey, you probably feel the same way. My uncle, to anybody listening, don't let me win because I'm not going to let you. So please do try to beat me. Just give me everything you got. It's going to make me feel that much better when I put you on a trailer. I'm just kidding. Casey, should there be a rule, man? Penalization, whatever we want to talk about. Should we penalize it for taking a dive?
Yeah, for sure. I hate that stuff, man. That's always annoyed me because, number one, I don't want to get too deep into it if we're getting ready to run commercials because I feel like it's going to go off on a pretty big tangent. But the moral of the story is that I've never understood why people do that anyway, because it's especially at a bracket racing level, because ultimately, and I don't want this to sound the wrong way or people take it the wrong way, because it's like I was telling you earlier on the phone. If, let's say, George goes out and he whoops everybody next year at XRP and wins track championship, ultimately, the only people that care about that are George, Casey, and the rest of George's friends and family. No one else cares. Right. It doesn't matter. It probably paid, maybe it paid you like a couple grand or something, but it's nothing. It's not like you made $200,000 and now you got all this crap given to you. It's not like you're winning, a Heisman Trophy or Super Bowl or something like that. It doesn't mean nothing, but it only means something to you. And if you didn't earn it, you didn't earn it. So now it means nothing to you. So what was the point of winning? That's kind of the way I think about it. There's just no reason to win something if you win it the wrong way, because no one cares but you.
Yeah, that's a fact, man. That's a fact. And at the same time, this is just me speaking. I don't know how to speak for anybody else. I feel like, Casey, you're probably this way too, but I like the feeling of earning it over it being given. Like, even if we're talking about just the day-to-day work activities, I don't want you to just say I'm doing good at my job if I'm not doing good at my job. Okay.
Right.
What do I gain from that? I don't get better. I don't get a chance to look in the
Participation
mirror.
trophy.
Man, I don't get to look in the mirror and say, hey, George, you got to do this, this, and this because you suck here and you suck there. Especially if don't anybody tell me about it. So I don't expect that to happen to me on the racetrack. I don't want anybody to lay over for it. I don't care if I'm number one in world points. I don't want the world championship trophy if I did not earn it full out.
Yeah, you're not a champion then.
Even if it's my teammate and I paid the entry, I don't care. I want 100% effort. Everybody has a dream. Everybody does. And mine is, hey, one of these days I want to line up against George Atchison in the finals of a big money bracket race. Do you think that myself versus my dad, either one of us is going to not try to be double O's? My dad's going to go red. I'm telling you now. He going to go red. It just gets too amped up for me. I don't know what it is. But that's what I'm trying to get at. I'm not going to lay over. He's not going to lay over. Me versus you, Casey. I'm not going to lay over for you. I don't care if you're track champion or not. Because you know what would be better is that lifetime memory that we would get to talk about from now until 89 years old, sitting on the doggone porch rocking chair. Hey, Casey, man, remember that one time I busted your behind and you were supposed to get track champion? Yeah, George, I'll never live that. You see what I'm saying? It's just a life story that you're going to get to tell. And I really think that most of us are in here to be able to generate those type of lifelong stories. If you ain't, you're doing wrong, But Casey, man,
we got.
You go ahead.
Go ahead. What were you going? I was just going to say we got Mr. Bones over here in the YouTube chat saying he was just watching some 2000 NHRA races on YouTube that had some very questionable races involving teammates, and I'm sure I know what he was talking about. The John Force Tony Petragon controversy.
That's right. I remember it, man, and I'm sure that is not, and what we're talking about, it's not the first time that something like this has happened at a track where somebody, be it WDRA in the lead for the points, whatever the case may be, somebody looked at the other person and said, hey, man, take a dive for me right here because I'm about to win the track championship, whatever the case may be. Here, I'll do such and such for you. I'll pay you this or whatever. That's a bunch of junk to me, man. So, but when we come back, we're going to figure out, and guys, fill the chat up, should we have a rule in every single sanctioning body that says that will be forbidden? And then what should that rule be? Don't go anywhere. Let's talk to our marketing partners for a second, and we'll come back with some more on this episode of Going Bracket Racing. Hang in there.
Unleash your horsepower with ProForm Super Street aluminum roller rockers. Utilize the latest cutting-edge manufacturing and design processes. The dual contoured body design allows for more rigidity with a greater strength-to-weight ratio, increasing engine power. Super Street aluminum roller rockers are available for a variety of applications and specs for Chevy, GM, and Ford, including pedestal mount, as well as a Chrysler shaft mount style rockers. On the strip or the street, ProForm has you covered.
BRG Motorsports 3D printed racing parts are able to provide you with whatever you desire to enhance your drag racing operation. Items like safety belt magnets, nitrous bottle holders, and even quick-release delay box mounts are able to be obtained from BRG Motorsports 3D printed racing parts. Have a look at top-selling items such as helmet hooks and steering wheel hooks, which are proven to make it easier to maneuver throughout your race car. You can contact BRG Motorsports 3D printed racing parts at telephone number 765-729-1177.
ProForm wedge locking header bolts are the last set of header bolts you'll ever need. Each bolt comes pre-assembled with a pair of special locking washers. Wedge locking header bolts are manufactured with grade 8 steel and come in 1 inch and 3/4 inch lengths.
All right. Welcome back. Going Bracket Racing. I believe it's episode 203. Casey, keep me honest. Give me a nod, whatever. I don't remember. But thanks for joining us. Thanks, everybody. Marketing partners for being with us here, keeping the lights on, helping us keep this going for free for everybody who's listening, watching, commenting, sharing, whatever the case may be. People like Syntex Printing, Ken Jones Performance, Crew Chief Pro, TSR Racing Products, Driven Racing Oil, GBR10, get you 10% off. Proform Parts, Midstate Dragway, BRG Motorsports, 3D printed parts, 8th Mile Apparel to get you some of that gear, Team 14 Motorsports, Gearhead Solutions. Buy whatever you want to buy off of that guy, but man, can't thank you guys enough. Those guys are at your ad here. That's Casey and George, man, the Going Bracket Racing team, here to get your products and services out in front of the drag racing community as a whole. If you got anything you'd like to ask us, give us an email or a shout out on Going Bracket Racing, Facebook, YouTube. Emails goingbracketracing@gmail.com. Casey, let's keep it moving, man, about this take a dive from me, old cock. This is just a bunch of crap, is what I call it. But
Yep.
let's get some comments out of the chat, man. I know you've seen a couple over there.
Yeah, my buddy Reggie Litch here. Ran my daughter in the finals of an index race, treated her as if she just was another racer. I treated her as if she was just another racer to teach her. I won and people were upset I didn't let her win. LOL. And I mean, that's obviously he's joking about that whole deal, but the fact of the matter is that's how it should be. I can tell you right now, whenever I've ran my dad a bunch of times, whenever I was a kid, when I was like 16 or something, he didn't lay down on me and I didn't lay down on him. In fact, there was one time where he was dialed a couple hundred slower than me and I red lighted like crazy, but because he gave me the faster car, because I didn't weigh anything back then, they were actually the same type of engines, but because of that, he weighed more than me. He was slower and I about red lighted before he did even. But Mr. Bones, at my home track, the racers pride themselves on being actual competitors and not taking any dives. That's good to hear that still exists out there, because it seems like it's getting easier and easier to pay people. I just don't understand the thought process, man. I don't understand why you would want to win something on paper and not actually win it, because you could have, if you were in the position to even take the dive, you could have won it legit. And now you'll never know. And there's a lot of people that you'll never be in that position ever again to do that. So it just doesn't make any sense to me, other than just saying, yeah, I've won one too. And everybody's like, yeah, you've won one too. Good job. Like, you didn't, because guess what? Everybody knows what happened.
Right. I almost wonder if Reggie Litch is actually playing around, man, because one thing that I know is that people tend to think that just because that's my kid in the other lane, that I need to give them the win. Or I almost feel like John Force might have did that with Ashley, maybe in her first win or whatever, whatever they raced, and John Force took a dive for her.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think it was Robert Height.
Whoever it was, they're not teaching anything. They're not teaching anything. So,
well, that's how I feel about those. It's funny you say that, and this is a totally different subject. That's how I feel about those electric junior dragsters, because they run the same thing all the time unless the wind's blowing. And it's like, well, why? Like, what are we teaching them? Because we're only teaching them to hit the tree. We're not teaching them to drive the stripe. We're not teaching them to read weather, because they don't have to. They aren't affected by that.
You don't got to do anything. You're not teaching to dial in or anything. Parents probably dial in the first place. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about those electric junior cars. Number one, half the time I'm live streaming and junior dragsters are loud. Well, if you give a buy run to an electric car and you just so happen to turn around and look at something else and make sure everything's working good, you'll never know that electric car is running up on you until it's too late. So I've done that a few times. Sorry to anybody running their cars that didn't get a video. So
yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about this, man, because I feel like it's important. Number one, it's important to know, if we do make a rule, what would the rule be, and then, or the penalty be, and then how would you police it? So let's go there, man, and figure out how would we even police the deal?
Well, the number one thing is that I would like, personally, and you would have to be 100% certain, like no questions asked, no possible way that you could see that this could go one way or the other. But if it was up to me, I'd say if you're gonna cheat your way to a points championship, then you're out of the points. Period. I don't care about deducting points for that race or whatever. I'd just say that's it, man. This slot's gone. That's it. Everybody moves up. But like I said, it would have to be a definitive, no questions asked. Look at all these time slips, and we're going to look at them all, and we're going to say, what happened here? Oh, well, I missed it. Okay. What happened here? Okay. Well, in that case, I don't know. I mean, the car blew up or whatever, okay, well, you say it blew the rods out of it. Show me. There should be a hole in the side of the oil pan or something,
Right. Where's the evidence? Where's the evidence? And I'm looking through Facebook too while we're talking about this case. It got several different comments on here, even all the way up. Jeremy Rosenthal's talking that this happened at Worldwide Technology in sportsman class. And listen, man, I like your thought process. If you are found to anybody take a dive for anybody, you're done. I mean, your points don't count for the rest of the year, because at that point, how do you even know that this person who is quote unquote taking a dive for you hadn't done it for the whole year?
That person ought to be gone too, because that's the person that facilitated it all. So they're just as guilty as the other guy. But I mean, what you're doing is you're basically screwing everybody who's trying to race that deal. Because like I said, to the world, it doesn't mean anything. Like, for example, if Casey Beckmeyer comes out here next year and wins the Mad Dog Championship, that means something to the Mad Dog competitors and to Casey and to my friends and family. But somebody in California is not going to know who I am just because I won that. Like, that means something to us because we're all competing against each other, and that would mean I was the best that year. But the fact of the matter is that if you're a guy that's going to go out here and you're going to lay down for somebody so that way they can win the championship, you're just as guilty as them, and you're basically screwing all these other guys who are trying to do it legit, and it means something to them, and you're taking something off their plate that, especially guy number 2, you really screwed him because you could have lost that round, and guy number 2's been working for this all year, and you just basically said, I got more money than you. Yeah, I got more money than you, or I got more friends out here or whatever that are willing to screw you. And you just screwed this guy out of maybe that's the only opportunity he ever has to win that championship.
And he's throwing his blood, sweat, and tears into it too, Casey.
Right.
He's throwing everything he's got into his racing program, because that's just how the majority of us race points on a week in, week out. It's not like what it used to be anyway, Casey, if you want me to be real honest. You and I both grew up in Division III. We know what it took. Every week in, week out, you and me. I was just a crew chief or a pit boy. Insert whatever word you like to put in there. But that's what I did, right, at that time. And I remember going through specifically week after week after week of grueling competition at Gateway. I mean, every single race was extremely tight in this year. And I believe they took the top 16, if that, or top 10 to bracket finals in the first place. So, man, just think about what that does to take a dive. You're taking somebody who has been working hard all year long and pushing them out. Think about that 17th person, or fact of a matter, that doesn't get a chance to go to compete at a bracket finals that's worked so hard all year. You know what I mean? That, of course, is back in the day, because they do it totally different now, but I think about things like that, and I don't think Reggie Litch was playing either when I'm looking at this YouTube chat. I believe that they really wanted him to take a dive for his child, either the daughter or the son. And he's like, I'm going to beat them like they stole something, because they're going to learn from it. And that's what you were supposed to do, Reggie. Absolutely.
I can tell you, my dad never has let me win.
Raced my dad 1-2, and I'm 1-0. My dad was red, and I was 30. So I shouldn't be 1-0. Let's put it that way. But I am. It is what it is, But Casey, man, we got to talk about, we talked about kind of the penalties. How do you police it? I really think there's many ways to know when somebody's doing it, but I'll take your cue first. And on the chat, give us your thoughts on that too. How do you know when somebody's actually taking a dive? If you weren't somehow the fly on the wall and heard Joe Schmo walk over to Jim Bob and say, hey, I'll pay you $50 to take a dive. How do you do it?
Yeah. I mean, if it's down to the wire, obviously this type of stuff is only typically going to happen later on in the season.
Yeah.
And if it's a scenario where, I mean, clearly, if you go up there and you're like, these guys are best friends and this guy's about to win the championship and somebody lets go 100 red or something and out of nowhere, and you could still be like, oh, his finger slipped off the button or whatever. But I saw one of the comments, somebody had said something of like, the dude let go either way red or way late and then went like 40 under the dial in. Like if you come up there, if George Atchison comes up here and he's in his truck and it's been running 6 flat or whatever all year, and all of a sudden George comes up running Casey, who's about to win the championship, and it's dialed 650, we're going to say, hey, George doesn't race like that. You know, George isn't throwing it in high gear randomly right now. And oh, by the way, Casey's about to win the championship. I wonder what that's all about. Like, I mean, that's blatantly obvious.
Yeah.
Now, if it's a scenario where somebody's good and they just come up and it's like, okay, they're 30 and run one above, and this guy's liable to be 15 total. Well, you can't say anything about that. That is not blatantly obvious. That is a common thing that there could, you know, and they could have thrown it that way. But the dude still next to you, he still had to, at least to an extent, beat you. You know, like he still could have gone red. He still could have gone under. He still could have given it back. I mean, but it's just, yeah. And I agree with this too. Stevie D over here in the YouTube chat. None of this matters if you have no integrity. That's right. I'm sure he's talking about my comments on the fact that nobody cares if you won the championship, basically, because but anyway, we'll leave it with that. Obviously, you guys heard what I already said, but it has to be something. If you're gonna literally kick somebody all the way out, then it has to be blatantly obvious. But I just feel like going back to what this guy's saying about integrity, it's like, what happened to that, man? Like, we're racing for a local championship too. It's like, you don't think everybody knows what you're doing? Like, everybody loses all respect for people who do that. I mean, man, everybody knows. Everybody's gonna know.
Yeah, man. And Cody Newman here, our friend from the north, is commenting in here. He's saying, why not disqualify them for that race instead of the whole season? And I feel like, man, and this is just my thought process, Cody, man, and I feel like if you send a message loud enough the first time, it ain't gonna happen no more, man. So it would be nice to be like, all right, here's your warning. We're gonna take all of your points for this weekend. But sometimes that ain't enough, man, because you never know how they've been doing it. Think about it. This does happen at the end of the year, right? But if Casey or I, this is hypothetical. It'll never happen, right? Casey or I have won 3 races of however many races out of the year. So Casey's in first, and I'm sitting somewhere in like 16th. But there's another guy who Casey's been racing against, been like to the quarterfinals every single race. Well, that's a tight points program, most likely. And if Casey cheats at the end and only gets disqualified for that particular weekend, that doesn't allow the guy behind him to leapfrog him. That's why I like not for the whole year. That's why
the thing is too, is like, this is coming from a guy, I want to say I've been second place like 4 times, 3 or 4 times, one of the other. And it's like, I know how much it sucks to be to lose. Like, at one point I lost a championship one time in the final round. Like, I mean, that's down to it. But it's like, it's so hard to win a championship because there's so many things that can go wrong, especially when you're talking about a local bracket racer. Local bracket racers, typically they have one race car. They don't have a backup car. A lot of their buddies don't have backup cars. They don't have a backup motor. A lot of them don't have a backup transmission. So not only do you have to be good the entire year, there's so many aspects. Like, you could get in a freaking car wreck on the way to the racetrack and not make a race. I mean, there's just so many different things that could happen. Something happens with your job, or something happens with the car and now you don't have a motor or a transmission or rear end brakes, or like, there's just so many aspects that don't involve just racing good all year. And you're going to potentially steal that from somebody. That's just not right. That's not right at all. And that's why the penalty should be so stiff.
And I'm going to go here, and there's a lot of good comments on Facebook, too, and I'm going to get them. One thing I'm going to bring up right off the bat here, and I'm going to touch it just briefly before I do, but when it happens with the professionals and nothing happens to them, that makes it all the worse. I'm going to find that's Brian Cook. And that is an excellent comment because everybody's watching it on TV. Everybody watched John Force take a dive. I believe it was the U.S. Nationals where he smoked the tires, and I feel like Ashley won. Man, there ain't no way he should have smoked the tires in that race. And it's like, all right, let's just turn the blower overdrive all the way up, and let's think this Joker ain't gonna smoke the tires off the freaking starting line. You know what I mean? But again, we're gonna get better and better especially as soon as the racer figure out somebody's watching. We're gonna get better and better at trying to hide it, and that's obvious, right? So I do think it will be something that's hard to police. I do, but something has to be done. Something has to be done in order to make this a fair fight.
Right.
And look, we'll say this too, Casey. You're my teammate, and we got the two going bracket racing cars at the racetrack. Running bracket program is tight. I'm number 1, you're number 5, number 6, whatever. But you pull up to the lanes and you kind of pick out James, who's behind me. I'm just making names up, right? But you know James is number 2, and you try to line up against him to bust his behind in the first round. I don't have a problem with that.
No,
Absolutely.
that's not.
Whatsoever with if you're going to be a headhunter, like a hired gun almost, hey, man, I need you to find Todd Hansen, who's always in the doggone lead. Find Todd Hansen, bust his behind, and get him out of here so I can win it. You see what I mean?
Right. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. There's no problem with that. If you're gonna, have multiple cars and multiple drivers and all that, and you think they're so great, do that. That's fine. Because then that guy's still got to beat that guy. Let him go up there, and where they would normally set up, say 10 on the tree, tell them you go up here and you set up 2 or better. And you go up here, and if it's green, then you got him. That's fine. But I mean, that's not the same thing as just literally waving the white flag and saying, "Here you go." It's
that used to be how we thought. That used to be how it was thought of. Hey man, you're my partner. I'm doing great. I'm a couple rounds out of first. You got to find this dude and follow him to the lanes and try to pull up right next to him and knock him out of there for me. Dude, so be it. Or a qualifying sheet in the NHRA. Hey man, I need you to qualify number 16. Like, how many of us, literally, let's be honest, we all had drag racing games when we were growing up. How many of us specifically tried to be last qualified so you can race the number 1 racer who was always the person who was in first place? All of us did it. Knowing good and well, all you got to do is tune it to your fast tune-up and you're going to beat them. So what? I don't mind that.
I just, I don't know, man. I don't understand I just don't understand what you think you won. If you're gonna do that, if you're gonna just throw races, or you're gonna have people throw races for you, like, what did that gain you other than disrespect? Really, people aren't going to respect you anymore. They lost respect, whatever respect they had. But like I said, you better have the proof, and you better be able to provide the proof, because if you're calling somebody a cheater, then you better be able to show the proof to everybody and not keep it to yourself. You better put it out there and say, this is why, here's all the information. There you go. And that's the one thing that I feel like we need to see. Because I did see a time slip by the accused guy, and I was like, that doesn't look like there's anything wrong with that. Looks like somebody had a bad light and a bad run, and that's not that blatantly obvious. But then I saw some comments saying, yeah, well, what about this time? Whenever, like I said, the whole thought of the 40 under, that's because I read that from the comments. I don't know any of this stuff to be true. We're just basing this off of what we saw, what all of you guys saw on the drag coverage post and what was in the comments section. But that's my feelings on if it happened the way that it happened. That's Casey and George's feelings on what we think about it, if that's what really happened.
You ain't sleep to not know it is happening regardless.
Right. I've seen it happen before.
Situation, so be it. Fine. I'm not the police here. I'm not here to arrest you, but it is happening. Our chat is telling us it is happening at least somewhere. People getting. I think William Thorson's in here. Thurston. He's telling us. I think that's Thurston, but sorry, William, I'm messing your last name up. He's saying it got caught at Gleason, and they started taking points from the people, which you caught them. And they penalized them. So already somebody is maneuvering themselves. Some tracks are maneuvering themselves in a manner of, we ain't going for that cheating stuff, man. You come out here, you race hard, no matter what. That's what we're here for. So I like it.
Yep.
I like it. Headhunting is part of the game. It's me. I've put a case of beer on people. That's what I'm talking about, man. I don't mind following somebody to the lanes, or I think I seen somebody say you wait until the round's almost over and you start pulling in and trying to find who you're looking for. And I don't mind headhunting. I don't mind that. Following
Well,
the
and
duck
that's
to the
still luck of the draw too, because you can chase them up there all you want, but it's still gotta work out, and you still got to be in the lane next to them. So if that lane's got 20 cars in, like you can't just sit back there and count or whatever. But that type of stuff is fun though. Like that's still fun for like if somebody was doing that to me, I'd be telling them and be like, so do I get the beer then if I beat him then? So then I get it. Like that's just fun, you know.
they call
But
it big money races. What is there, a headhunter award or something like that? Where they
yeah,
used to give
some of them,
beat like I don't remember the last one I heard, but he
whoever
beat
won the
some
day before.
and he beat him, and then you won a set of heads or something ignorant, like a
Yeah.
nice set of Brodix heads or something. That's
Hmm.
the headhunter award. But
I still always think there should be a headhunter award. Just they give away so many round prizes, like especially at the fling events and stuff like that. There should be
yep,
a headhunter award just to beat whoever won the day before.
and every single time I see it, and it kind of hadn't happened in a while, I don't think. But the winner of the night before gets the bye run in the first round. Yeah, no, he just
Yeah,
won.
he's already won.
Thing, make him come to the lanes first. All right, the winner of last night's race, you must come to the lanes right now. And whoever pulls up next to him, he got to take that person on first round right off the bat. This is the winner last night. He's got to go first. Well, that's a decent rule, but he can't have no bye run. He just won the thing. I don't like that. See, I
I
don't
want to
like
bring
that.
I do want to bring back the headhunter award for sure. They should, you know what the OG million should have? Whoever won the
D-Hunter.
OG last year, yeah. Whoever won the OG last year has a bounty on their head.
Bart
Yeah.
Nelson, yep. Sorry, buddy. I know Bart Nelson very well. He's a Texas boy, you know what I mean? But hey, Bart, you rolling to St. Louis this week. The reward on your head is something serious, like
Yep.
a nice size award though. Last year's winner, Bart Nelson. We got to take him down. Everybody
Yeah.
ought to be in cahoots too. Hey, you know what? I got a bounty on your head, and I'm just gonna tell you about it. I got a bounty on you. You better stay in your
Surely
game.
somebody would sponsor that. The way, you know what they should do? This would be a
Does
cool
that.
thing.
Billion does that already, according to
I
Jonathan
was
Rogers.
I was unaware of that, but I feel like that would be an easy thing to get somebody to sponsor because it's such a historical race and it's such a big deal and so widely watched. But what would be really cool is to give the headhunter award as whatever like your million entry that you beat him with, that's free now. You know, so it's like $2 grand.
Nice.
You know,
That'd be nice. Oh, that'd be nice. That's easy. That's just easy.
but somebody would sponsor that for sure. I don't see that being an issue.
It's pretty easy too, man. That'd be easy to do. Well, you just won all your money back for beating number one.
Yep. Now you race for free.
Pretty sure Rob Fisher. Yeah, that's who. That you're right, Jonathan. Rob Fisher won a set of Prodic heads for taking out Donnie Hagar last year. You are right about that. You're right, because that's exactly what I'm talking about. Or Rain Man took it.
Speaking of prizes at the OG Million, I want to say this year is the year that they're going to do the all the previous winners get to race for like a gold card that might be good for the next couple millions or something like that. That's going to be a very cool race.
Seeing the OG, kind of their Facebook page, kind of say this person's going to be here, that person's going to be here. We know Greg Sesty going to be there. I mean, that's his home track. I'm trying to get George there, George and Mo, but it's not looking good, guys. I'm trying my hardest to get out there to the million this year, but I need to somehow get a babysitter in here for a whole week. That's what it's going to take. Casey, man, we coming up. I guess we got 10 minutes left. What you got left, man? What's the chat got left? I know y'all got something. They got something, man. There's no way. It's not
more people keep trickling in, watching and everything, but not commenting yet. Leave a comment over there. But what I will say is I am getting excited like I do every single year for the OG Million coming up. That's probably my favorite race to watch all year just because I feel like whoever wins the million, I mean, Bart Nelson, obviously, he's one of the few that it didn't start off his career, but it usually the typical person who wins the OG Million turns into somebody big after that. Bart Nelson was already somebody, so that he doesn't count. But that race starts a lot of people's careers. It gets their name out there and gets them known, and then all of a sudden it seems like they win everything else there is to win after that. So it's very cool to see.
Level like this, Casey, I guess after you see a night like that come on.
Yeah, you can do everything.
17, 18-year-old Casey and George. It's almost like you're
Mhm.
invincible at that point. You know, I can take
Yeah.
anybody down. Yep. So,
Yeah,
oh man,
I mean, there's a lot of guys who were young nobodies, maybe known in their local area, but I mean, I don't think a lot of people across the rest of the country really knew the name Johnny Bracket Racer until he won the OG Million, and then he became who he is now, and that kicked him off to having the business he has now, and showing how talented he is, and then still winning more and more races year after year. And Shane Carr, he was just a kid whenever he won all that stuff, and it's and look what he's become. The Williams brothers, same thing. Kenny Underwood, I mean, there's so many big names in there. Triplet's been in the finals 3 times. I mean, it's crazy whenever you think about how many people and how many big names are in that particular race winning, like, winners list. It's just, It's really cool to see, because you don't know them as they won the OG Million. You knew them as they won the OG Million and all this other stuff.
Right. No, it's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be interesting to see what happens this year. And again, I'm doing the hardest I can to try to get there for myself. And man, that'd just be a bucket list. That's all I got to tell you. It's one of the races that I need to scratch off my bucket list sooner than later. Whole family will be there. It's like, it's our home area, Casey. We go to Gateway to race at any point in time, and we'll have 50 to 100 people that we know that are still racing that are going to be there. It is what it is, So, wouldn't mind pulling up in there and unloading old Mo's if we can't turn on a wind light or two. Casey.
Yep.
Getting quiet, man. We might have to end this show about 7 minutes early, Casey. I don't see very many comments flowing through here. Oh, I see Mr. Bones over here saying Bart Nelson's a long-time heavy hitter down in Texas. Long time, yeah. Very, very tough racer. I feel like he was like 006 average the whole OG Million. Yeah. Right? So
I have a feeling that Bart Nelson's packages throughout the entire race probably were some of the best that have ever been seen in any race ever, and probably the OG Million history, to be honest with you. I had them. I mean, you'd have to look back. It'd be obviously the week after last year's OG Million. I'm sure I talked about this, but dude, I can't imagine. I mean, Bart Nelson was as unbeatable gets, and he picked the right race to put that all together, because it was nuts. I mean, it's like that dude, I want to say he was only worse than 15 total, like maybe one time. And it wasn't like it was something crazy. Like he was probably lifting on the other dude, but I think I remember now having done a breakdown on a spreadsheet that like he wasn't worse than like 10 on the tree, but like maybe one time or something insane.
I remember that episode too, Casey, and to call out 006 total, and then not only that, when your opponent is in the other lane, and I feel like Birch was 7 total, and could not get up. It's like
7 or 8 total in law.
Over here saying it's fun watching on YouTube. He's talking about the OG Million. Yeah, it is, and he says he learned so much from watching the Million. It's unreal. It's what all of us have done. I believe Casey and I may have. There's been how many? Is this the 30th OG Million, or is it 30 what?
I think it's 30.
I'm pretty sure that Casey and I have been on the phone or somewhere close to each other for all 30 of them, and I know for at least 20 of them we've been on the phone. Like, hey, Casey, you watching? I'm watching, and we're talking about what's going on at the OG Million. I mean, there's not 4,000 or 5,000 racers watching for no reason. I remember
specifically, I remember talking to you on the phone when I was living in Denver still. I remember exactly what I was pacing around the room, because I couldn't believe this is when people first started holding a pile because of Johnny doing it. And I was like, what is this guy doing? This is insane. And he's actually getting back to dead on. This is nuts. No one can do this. And he's doing it round after round after round. And it just looks so crazy. And then after that,
started to become relevant.
That was that time where that guy got timed out. That's also a thing that really got him started on everything. But yeah, man, it's always an exciting race. I don't know if it's because at about 16 cars, these are literally the best guys that are having the best year they've ever had. And nobody lucks their way to 16 cars of the OG Million. It's not happening.
You laying down laps the whole way there. You
Mhm.
don't look your way out of buybacks at the OG Million.
Right.
I'm sorry. You don't come with it. Just ask my dad. 13 total. Can't get out of buyback. All right. And I'm just saying, you really, really, really have to have your P's and Q's together to run an OG Million. And hey, all I know is it's awesome. This is going to be the 30th, according to Tyler Stein. And Jonathan Rogers is saying that the Gateway crowd seems to be frequenting Mid-State Dragway quite a bit more here recently. I wonder if it's got anything to do with them Twin Tens that it's got to be. Listen, if we're in the area, there's no way Casey or myself, we're at every single one of those. It's nothing to talk about. That is a excellent race that's happening that many times throughout the year. You're going to pack that place out. It's only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger every year. So, shout out to anybody supporting Mid-State at those Twin Tens, man. I wish that could be everywhere, Casey. I'm not even kidding. If that could be, if XRP would throw Twin Tens every single doggone, well, just 6 times out of the year,
Once a
I'm gonna
month.
be
Yeah.
every single time. You know what I mean? So,
Yep.
big stuff.
And they appreciate the people coming. That's the difference. They actually appreciate the people coming, and the people in charge are racers themselves. So they actually know what you want, and they appreciate like that any type of positive or negative input. They can put 2 and 2 together and understand this dude's just pissed off or this guy's right. And guess what? If you're right, Sean's going to go fix it.
Yeah,
That's
buddy.
the difference. It's not, he's not just going to sit here and say, well, I'm going to do what I want. He's going to say, they're my customers and this is what they want, and I'm going to do it.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's spot on too. You know, it's a group of racers. I mean, they know what it means to be a bracket racer. All of them, from Brad to Greg. Greg will build a bracket car for you right now. Just call him.
Yeah, he'll build you one.
Build the thing up. You know,
Yep.
so it's anyway. Shout out to everybody who supported Mid-State Dragway, Casey. Man, what you got in closing, bro? You know, we coming up. My stomach is growling. I smell something in there, so I'm about to go eat.
Yeah, that sounds good to me too, man. Just again, thanks for everybody joining us. Episode 203 of the Going Bracket Racing podcast. We'll be back here next Tuesday, 5:30 Eastern, 4:30 Central Time. Don't forget, all those logos on the bottom of this screen are the people that send this to you for free. Definitely check them out. If you can support them in any way whatsoever, definitely do so. Show your appreciation for them allowing this entertainment to go. Probably this is either the 5th or 6th year we've been doing it now. So I think it's the 5th year that we're doing it. So, yeah. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that.
Hey, catch us next week. We got a special guest that's going to be joining us, and let's everybody join in and share it and like it and comment on it, whatever, and get as many followers. I think we're getting pretty close to 10,000, Casey. Getting over there on that Facebook page. Keep liking and sharing. We can't appreciate you enough. See you guys next Tuesday.